Yo, what's poppin'? So I wanted to talk a little bit about players that I think have surpassed their expectations that I had for them at the beginning of the season. Um, yeah, because we're almost at like the halfway mark, and it's going to be busy between. There's going to be a lot to talk about after the midseason match, so I might as well talk about this now. So, first player from the East is going to be probably Marvel. Limited sample size here because this is after his 2 games with the Valiant, and he looked very good in them. He did look better than I thought he would have in those games, and if he continues to play like that for Valiant, he will for sure be one of the players that has surpassed my expectations. On Boston, he looked okay, but on Valiant, he looked like on Boston, he kind of looked like how I kind of expected him to, maybe a little worse. This now on Valiant, he looks quite good. Um, I also wanted to talk a little bit about. I guess that's it actually. Smurf actually Smurf. I had high expectations of Smurf on the main tanks, of course, but on the off tanks, he has impressed quite a lot. On the Zarya, not so much on the Sigma, but on the Zarya for sure. And even on the Diva when he played it a little bit on Ilios Lighthouse, I was impressed a little bit. Not hugely, right? But better than I expected. So I did have high expectations for Smurf, but I was still concerned about him being the only tank, and he has shattered those. So I'd say Smurf is fair as well. Other than that, there's some notables for these, but not really the same level as those two. Like Chosei One's playing well, but we kind of expected him to play well. I'd say Bernard is actually good. Bernard is actually one of those guys I'm gonna put in with them. I thought Bernard was like all right, but he has proven to be like a solid tank in Overwatch 2 so far. So I will put Bernard there. So yeah, so my three from the East are actually gonna be Bernard, Marvel, and Smurf, all tanks as it turns out. Um, and then maybe Chorse One could be in there. Maybe Dia could be in there. Dia, I did have high expectations for. I do think he has surpassed him a little bit. He's played very well. Um, so yeah, I'm okay with letting Dia be in that group as well. So maybe those five, I would consider being having a better season than I expected. Maybe not Chorse One in that actually. He's been playing good. Can't really fault that. But yeah, I can't really think of anyone else from the East that isn't a rookie because I the rookie expectations are different. I'm only thinking about veterans, like because rookie expectations are like they're there, but they're kind of fake at the same time. It's like not the same because we haven't seen them at the owl level. They're like prospective, like potential. Like we see potential in them. This is like actual improvement at the owl level. Uh, but yeah, so I'm just gonna go with Bernard, Dia, Marvel, and Smurf are gonna be there. Moving on to the West, which is probably more interesting because there are more teams and more recurring players, I guess. Um, from Atlanta, I do think Nero has played better than he was on Shock. I think Nero's been great. He could be benefiting by having Kai beside him. I also think Hawk has played better. I had good expectations for Hawk. Hawk was solidified as a good tank last season, right? But I think he's been really good this season, and I think he has done better than I thought he would as a solo tank. Moving over to Boston, I'd say Punk could be in there. Crimzo for sure. Crimzo definitely. Maybe I was underrating Crimzo a bit. I'm just like, yeah, he's Crimzo. He's good, but he has been like great, right? Especially this week, we saw him just dismantle the Paris Eternal, just straight up dismantle, and he's played very well. Have to give it to Crimzo. Definitely on this list. Whether it be me underrating him or him being that guy. Uh, I don't know if Punk's played better than expected. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Dallas doesn't have anyone. They've probably been underperforming, if anything. Florida, I would say checkmate after his odd season last season where he had the main tank a little bit. Definitely has impressed more than last season. On Houston, I would say Dante has impressed just because he's role swapped basically. That is impressive, and he's role swapped and he's looked good at it, right? I guess to an extent also Lastro on the Lucio, but not really. I don't think he's really impressed on that character, so no. But definitely Dante on Houston. London, you could argue this whole team has impressed. Sparker's been phenomenal. Backbone's been great. I didn't even know Backbone played a little bit last season. I don't remember that at all. Yeah, so he's impressed from that. Hottie has had probably been the most improved player from last season. or at least it looks like it. He's been phenomenal. He's been like the best Reinhardt. I have to love him. And Poco, I don't think Poco's impressed. This is kind of what I expected from Poco, but yeah. So Sparker and Backbone and Hottie all there. I think Shax can't be included in this. I think he's played all right, but I do expect a little bit more from Shax actually. Very high on him. But we'll see. Gladiators. I don't know if I can put anyone in here. They've all been playing exceptionally well. I don't know if any of them have surpassed my expectations at all. New York Excelsior, this team has nothing. Yaki has taken a step back. Flora's been about the same, probably. I don't know. So that team's fake. Paris, pretty fake as well. I haven't really seen anything that didn't expect from these guys. Unless it was worse. The Shock. I would argue Violet has impressed a bit on the Lucio compared to what I thought he would, but that he's not like impressed me compared to like what my expectations were for him. I guess yeah, he has performed better on the Lucio than I expected, so I'll give him that. Toronto Defiant, there's nothing here that I've been depressed with this team, not impressed. So yeah, Vancouver, nothing there either. I expected Aspire and Shockwave to go crazy. That's what I expected. So, and the Washington Justice, Krillin for sure, standout member. He has been lights out. Krillin has genuinely been one of the brightest spots in this Washington Justice team, and he's been consistently great. And now they're going to get Vigilante next week. We'll see what happens there with Vigilante and Krillin. But Krillin has been great. Krillin's been fantastic. You love to see it. Yeah. This Krillin's fantastic. Also, I would consider Happy. I had very high expectations for Happy, but he's been so consistent and he's been so good for Washington. I might even leave him in there. Like, maybe he has been a bit better than I expected, and I expected a lot. But I think Happy's been phenomenal. So, you know. So yeah. So to summarize my NA impressed, we have Nero, Hawk, Crimzo, Checkmate, Dante, Sparker and Backbone and Hottie, Violet on Lucio, more impressive than I thought he would have been. Still not great, but he's been solid. He's not bad relative to like anyone below the top four, right? Anyone below the top four is all right. And then Happy Krillin. So yeah, there's been some impressive performances from these players. I will probably make a video opposite to this, where it's players that have not impressed me, that have kind of let me down a little bit, and that list will be a bit more extensive, I think. But yeah, there's been a lot of improvement, especially from Hottie. Huge improvements from last season. Krillin, huge improvements from when we last saw him in the league. And just great stuff overall. So yeah. Let me know your thoughts on if anyone else has impressed you so far this season. I'm talking about veterans, but not really rookies here. But yeah. And yeah, like this video if you like it. Subscribe for more daily Overwatch League content. And have yourself a good one.